Okay, I think we're recording. Yes, we are.
We're in it. We're
Amazing.
doing it.
We're doing it. Amazing. Okay, well, this week on the show, I have from the Alone at Lunch podcast. Please welcome my guest, Carly Montag. How you
Oh
doing,
my God. I'm
Carly?
so happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, of course.
What a
I'm so happy
time to
that
be
you're so
alive.
happy. Yes. Love it. Love it. Well, I appreciate you being here and taking time out to chat with me.
My
Yeah,
pleasure.
Carly, you are from New Jersey.
I'm from New Jersey. Some of us
Yes.
are. Yes, they allow some of
Yes.
us to be from New Jersey and then leave. Thank
Oh yeah.
goodness.
Yeah, I'm from Jersey as well, which I know, we've talked about this a little bit, but
Yeah.
I don't feel like I truly left because I've been in New York for 10 years. When you were living in New York, did you feel that way?
Yeah, I think because it was so easy to just get home to my parents or, go to Jersey City. All these
Yeah.
like people are like already living in Jersey but commuting into New York. And so it was like nice because I felt like I was one step removed, but also had kind of a security blanket of like if anything happened, I could just like run home to mom and dad.
No, 100%. And like I never do, but it's there if I need it.
They sure used to run to me and they'd be like, "We're coming in. Let's get dinner. Let's get lunch. Let's
Really?
hang out."
Oh, nice. So you have like parents that are young at heart.
I have parents, probably my dad loves me for sure, but probably my mom who just like needs a little bit more of my affection. Like where I want to come visit. I haven't seen you. Let's go.
Oh
So,
my, I love that. Do you have siblings?
yes, I have an older sister. She went to school in Washington D.C. and then kind of like just stayed. So she, for the most part, has been living like down in the D.C. Virginia area my entire like adult life,
Mm-hmm.
which is like part of the reason why I ended up moving down here was because I was looking for a place to just like get out of New York, and I was like, hey, I got family down down south. I love how like I think DC is down south, but it's like
I know.
barely.
I know. It's in that weird gray area. Like it's so weird because like I don't consider I know like Florida is literally in the South, but I don't
Yeah,
consider
that's the
Florida
south.
down south.
That's,
Like for
yeah.
me it's like south is like Georgia, Alabama, somehow South Carolina, but not Florida.
Yeah, I feel like because there are parts of Florida that are like cool and hip, and so it kind of has like a mixed bag. And then there's the parts of Florida that are very much south.
Yeah, yeah. I it's probably also the fact that like a majority of people that grow up in New Jersey re retire in Florida. I feel
For
like
sure.
that's like
My grandparents were snowbirds. We used to go to visit them every winter, just like go down there. We'd stay with them. We'd go on the go-karts and pool
hmm
and play shuffleboard and all of the things
Oh,
that you do. And then, yeah, then when they stopped going because they just got too old to do the commute, I was like, oh no, we're our
yeah.
Florida home.
No. It's like, do you guys just want to live down there? So
I know. Probably not ever,
yeah, no.
but it was nice to visit.
Yes, yeah. Shout out Florida, I guess.
Shout
Uh,
out, yeah, I forgot it. Shout out Florida man. Shout out Google Florida man, and then like on this day in history, and something crazy has always
Something
happened.
always comes up. Yep.
Yeah.
Um, gosh. Okay, so how much older is your older sister?
Because we are a nerdy family, we have done the math. She is 2 years, 9 months, 9 days older than me. 3 years in grades. So
Yeah.
she's like old enough where she was like always kind of just like a foot out the door. So like when I was in middle school, she started high school. When I was a freshman in high school, she was a senior. Like she was already like kind of like moving out. Like we were close, like but we weren't like best buddies, like gotta do everything
Yeah.
together, like shopping together, like just also I think it because like she's a little bit more like girly and I'm a little bit more tomboy. Like the
Mhm.
crossover was like let's play sports together. you know
Yeah. 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 So you played sports. Did you play sports your whole life?
yeah, sports was like my whole identity for the first, oh gosh, 18 years of my life. The minute like I realized that I had some athletic talent, I just like ran with it.
Mm-hmm.
And pretty much like from fourth grade through senior year of high school, I was playing competitive basketball, competitive softball, um, just trying to show everybody that I am gay as easy as possible. I didn't know
um
till later, but the signs are all there for sure. So
oh, okay. Okay.
yeah,
So you when did you come out?
I was 24.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah,
mean, that is like by I think 2025 standards that is a little bit later,
yeah,
especially because it just I mean, I always blame it on social media. I guess blame's not the right word, but like, there's
yeah.
more
Now it's everywhere.
communication. Yeah, there's more examples. My brother hadn't come out to publicly like friends knew
Hmm.
he was gay, but like my brother was like um 30 when he like came out to like,
Oh man.
family and stuff, which is
Yeah.
like such a long time to just not completely be yourself,
I
you know?
know. And I think, I mean, depending on the situation, I mean, it's like I have a wife now, so it's can't really
Yeah.
hide it too much. But I think definitely like I still am like a little bit like using the word partner or like not like
Yeah.
being like as open about it just because of, well, the times that we're in. But also, I don't know, just I think I have my own like internalized homophobia of just like growing up in a time where it was, not 100% like accepted or understood or seen in the media. So I'm
Yeah.
sure I'll get past it in the next 50 to 60 years.
Let's hope. No, I know. I mean
Yeah.
that I remember learning about the term internalized misogyny and being like, that's what's wrong with me. Like that's what I have going on. And identifying it helped me like work through it,
Yeah.
and I think being aware of it. And I think also for myself, dealing with some internalized homophobia because of like having that like thing of like being scared for my sibling of just like I
Mm.
don't know, they're different, they're other, and it's just like working through that in like a second, but like, okay, so when you were what was I'm at this is a little bit of a tangent, and let
It's
me know if you
okay.
don't want to.
I'm terrible at transitions, so just go ahead.
Well, I'm curious, like when it came to coming out, like was it like did you do it in like phases where it's like friends knew and then family, and like what was that like?
Yeah, so first I had to come out to myself. That's the
Mm-hmm.
hardest part. I think, well, not the hardest part for 100%, but like I think that was a big step for me. I think that like I was so obviously queer in so many ways, like athletic, like tomboy, never had a boyfriend. Like there's so many
Mm-hmm.
things, though, so many signs, and I think that I was like, I don't want everyone to be right. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, how dare everyone know before me? And then
uh
also like now I'm proving all of them correct. But you do a couple of Google searches and you're like, I think if you Google "Am I gay?" that's the sign that you're gay. I
yeah,
think like straight people
maybe.
aren't like, "Am I gay?" So that was a couple, maybe like just probably 2 years before I formally came out. But yeah, I kind of started seeing someone, and then like as I mentioned, like my parents are pretty involved in my life, so it's kind of, unless because I live so close. I feel like if I lived in like Alaska and they were like, "What are you up to?" I'd be like, "I'm just hanging out with friends." But
Right.
because they're like, "What are you up to? And who are you with? And who are your friends? And why?" And all this stuff. And my partner at the time, like her family was also in New Jersey, so she was like, we were coming back and forth, and I just
Yeah.
had this friend that I was just going to Jersey with who would like drop me at my house to see my parents, and then like pick me up, and they're like, "Why are you with this person all the time?" And so they were pretty much like, "Is this your girlfriend?" And then that was it. That was pretty
Yeah.
much like how it all happened.
Yeah, the proverbial roommate that Aunt Carly is
Yeah.
bringing to Christmas.
Exactly. So I'm sure I would have eventually, come out to them, but they definitely pulled it out of me before I I wasn't like not ready to tell them, but I just like was still figuring things out for myself, like
Yeah.
how comfortable I was with it and like how I identified and all those things. But I think kind of had to have that conversation with them. It's like I didn't not want to tell you. I just wanted to I wanted to be so certain and so comfortable in my body and my actions to like be like, this is what's happening, like deal with it, versus like, this is what's happening. Is it okay? Like, you're not mad, are you? You
Yes.
know? So
Yeah,
it's like
totally.
it's a different feeling.
Yeah. Well, that actually brings me to my next question because as I was asking this and you were talking, I was thinking, did you in this time of like, maybe and even before this of, realizing that you're gay and like you just said being comfortable in your body, like what was your relationship like with your body? Like, you were playing sports, so, you have the athleticism piece, I guess, as a part of it. But I'm curious like what your relationship was like with your body.
Yeah, so I was always athletic, but I was always overweight. So I was like
Mm,
this, I was like talented, but always the slowest. So it was like a real mix of like I just knew I couldn't. At some point, everybody was gonna pass me because I was good for my young age, but like comes a point when all the everyone hits puberty and then they're like so fast and whatever, and then I'm always just
mm-hmm.
still in the back. So I was always just like a little bit frustrated that I was like I'm working out all the time. Granted, I was also eating terribly. So, I
Right.
didn't have like the metabolism of some of my, teammates who they could like play and then go eat like fries and burgers and shakes and be fine. I'm over here playing the same amount as they are and I'm gaining all the weight because of like whatever genetics and if however you want to whoever you want to blame it on. But so I was frustrated at that and then I was just like uncomfortable. I was like they didn't I mean not to blame like the time, but they didn't make like cool clothes for like
No.
overweight kids. Like maybe
Yeah.
they do now, I don't know, but like I didn't know where to shop. I was shopping in the adult section. I also didn't like feminine clothes, so I'm like kind of dressing in boys clothes, but they're all just like a little bit awkward and I'm like having to shop for dresses that I don't want to wear, but I also don't fit in them. So I'm like, why do I have to wear this? I don't look good in it. And I also don't want to wear it. So there was just like a lot of frustration around my clothes and just my body was like, I didn't feel comfortable in it. Um, I mean, I know like we're gonna probably get into it more, but like my first like diet, what like diet, like you are on a diet
Yeah.
was between eighth and ninth grade. I went on the South Beach diet. My dad and I did it together. The classic South Beach diet of the early 2000s. And I lost a bunch of weight. I lost 30 pounds. I
Wow.
went, yes, I lost 30 pounds as like a 14-year-old. And so all of a sudden I could fit into all these very feminine clothes and I looked good in my body. And I was like wearing all of these things that I was like seeing everybody else wear and I felt good. And I was wearing things I didn't even want to wear, but I thought I should because now I had this new body to show off. And like, so it was just a very weird time where I was like kind of presenting more feminine than I ever had because I was like
Right.
skinnier and I thought that was what you're supposed to do. And then, I stopped, I ultimately like got off the diet and started kind of gaining some of that weight back and then just was like trying to figure out what my new identity was. And then, I mean, we can keep going. I've been on yo-yo diets for like the last forever, but yeah, I think like there's been a lot of food and how I present and like just the nature of my body and like how I felt
Mm.
comfortable in it and so much about like I was never like the cute like fit person that was like getting picked on at the school dance. Like I think I was always kind of paired off with like the tall for his age boy and we, for like the slow dances and stuff because that's like the only person that like didn't look completely insane for me to dance with.
Right, right,
So
right.
I was like tall for my age, but then I kind of evened out. Like I've been 5'7", like or between 5'6" and 5'7" since I was like, I don't know, 13. So,
Yeah.
when you're like a middle schooler, like all the boys haven't really hit that bit
Yeah.
yet. So it was, what a time. Yeah, it was fun.
Well, I mean, as you saying, I remember being so frustrated playing sports when I was younger and seeing my peers being able to eat whatever they want,
Yes.
and me having worked out the same amount, and I am a visual learner. So if I see someone doing something, I'm like, oh, I can do that. And then
Yeah.
it just being completely different on me. And I so relate to that. Just like I've never in my life have been described as petite. Like I've been
No.
5'8" for forever.
Yeah.
And like always, I always have like had this thing where like the number on the scale doesn't like reflect the way I hold my weight. So like
Yeah.
I've been many different sizes and have
Mm-hmm.
always felt fat. And like I'm not trying to use fat as like a pejorative term, but just like I've always, I guess when I say I felt fat, I felt like kind of like uncomfortable in my skin.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, it's being someone that has like yo-yo dieted and stuff, like I completely relate. But it's just so funny the fact that you were going from 8th grade into 9th grade and doing the South Beach diet, because I
Classic.
just have to think that like, did the creators of the South Beach diet think like, yes, an 8th grader will do this diet? Like it was
I mean,
created.
honestly, probably. Like it's created for like old like adults or whoever it's created for. But like I don't know, it's like it was the diet of their time. Like how
Yeah,
I don't. There are so many foods that I was I was thinking about. Like there are foods that I literally like will not eat because it's like I lived on them.
right.
Because it's I don't know the difference between South Beach and Atkins. I feel like they're both kind of this
I
low
think
carb
I think it's
diet.
like,
They're just like
and keto is the
rebranded.
same. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And so I
exactly.
used to like live on these like I wanted to curse. I know I can curse, but I
You
just was like
can, yeah.
I'm not gonna curse.
Yeah.
But these like there were like these cottage cheese with the little like jellies on the side. I don't even know
Oh
like the
yeah.
fruit on the side.
Oh,
And so
I
I like
know it
used to
well. You
live
would
on
like dump it
those,
in.
dump it in, yes. And then like the sugar-free jellos. I used to eat them. I used to like pop them. They're like 100 calories. I'd have like
Yeah.
one or like five a day, whatever it
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
Like
Got really good at Jello shots in college
so
because of
yes,
those.
so much like cauliflower, mashed potato, like mashed cauliflower to pretend to be potatoes. Look, like I know now that mashed potatoes are not bad for you. It's just the like the milk and the oil and
Yeah.
stuff that's in it. It's just like they didn't teach you like the actual food science behind like why you shouldn't eat certain things. You're just like following this very strict diet of like honey Dijon honey chicken. Like there's so many just like
Yeah.
things I can. And so yeah, we were the reason that we actually did this one is we were at a party and we had some family friends and the son and the father had lost a bunch of weight. We're like, oh my god, you guys look amazing, how'd this happen? They were like, oh, we did the South Beach diet. And we're like, okay. And so me and my dad were like, well, we're a dynamic overweight duo, let's do
Uh-huh.
let's do the
Yeah.
South Beach diet. And we did, and we both lost a lot of weight and we both gained it all back. And so
Yeah.
as it goes. But yeah, it just I was like I got to go into high school like feeling good,
Yeah.
It's just like a change. And I went from private school to public school, so I was like these people don't even know me. Like I could be anybody. I could really just like
Stranger.
show up, be whoever I want to be. And so it was good until I just started gaining it all back.
Yeah, I remember going into each school year, coming back from summer, either having the feeling of like I'm coming back a brand new woman because like I
Yeah.
managed to lose some weight, or I went all summer and I didn't lose any weight and I feel like I'm coming back, and it's just like definitely body dysmorphic 100%.
Yeah.
But
You mentioned something though about like have kind of carrying your weight in a way where you could be like small or big and it all looks
yeah.
the same. Like that's I very much how I kind of feel like I presented. I mean, I look at pictures of myself. So at this point in time, I'm definitely like the smallest that I've been in a while. But if I look at myself, a couple years ago, and I look at my face and I didn't know like how I didn't and how bloated was or felt because I never really like changed my clothes. Like it's either just like my clothes felt a little bit tighter or a little bit smaller. Like they all kind of always fit. It's just a matter of like how much they fit. And so like now when I like kind of compare pictures, I'm like, oh, I can see it. But in the moment, like it just feels like this is your body. Like it still does what
Yeah.
it needs to do. So I think when you carry it like I don't know, like I see like men who carry like huge beer bellies. I'm like, okay, like that you can like obviously
Yeah.
see it. But I kind of like I've always just been like proportionately wider in places. So I don't know.
No, that's exactly how I feel, and it's only when I look at photos for like where I can see like a kind of comparison
Yeah.
of face looking different and stuff. I like obviously comparison is the thief of joy, but I sometimes wish like I almost wish I did gain all my weight in one area because it's almost like um again, like if I did gain all my weight in my stomach, I'd be like, I probably would wish that like it was spread out evenly
Yeah,
amongst my body.
exactly.
But
Yeah.
I think it's a frog in boiling water. Like you don't realize how your body is changing, and I don't want to like say that to be like getting gaining weight is a bad thing because it's not, but it
Yeah.
is a fraught relationship when you uh have like even like being at that party and like your family friends like losing weight and getting that praise for it, like I
Yeah.
would get high off of that
Oh,
praise,
for sure. If
you
someone
know
didn't compliment me, I'd be like, "Are you blind? Like, I look great. Why have you not said anything?"
I know, which is crazy because now as someone in my 30s, it's like I am if someone wants to compliment me, please by all means, but like I have to like take compliments about my body size just out of the equation because I would be obsessed with they didn't say that I look good or that I look like I've lost weight, so I must look disgusting. Like it was like it's like a gremlin in my brain. It's so
Yeah.
annoying.
And it's hard because
And
I like
yeah.
naturally like to wear kind of like baggier clothes. So it's not like I'm
Mm-hmm.
wearing like slim cut clothes to like show off whatever. It's like I'm kind of giving like unless you can see it in my face, like there's not really any way that you would kind of know unless I'm like literally like in my
Yeah,
undies
yeah, yeah, bathing suit.
undergarments. Yeah, exactly.
Going back to what you said about the foods that you would eat that like you can't eat now,
Yeah.
that like number one for me is cottage cheese. And it's
Yeah.
so because I was like, I was like a big Weight Watchers person. And
Mm-hmm.
so like cottage cheese just being like a very low point food was
Mm-hmm.
we ate it all the time, and it's so
Yeah.
funny seeing I spend way too much time on my phone and way too much time on TikTok and ending up on videos of like girls doing what I eat in a day and here's what I eat and substitute to like cut calories, and I see these girls using cottage cheese to make like cottage cheese bread or whatever, and I'm
Yes,
just like,
exactly.
oh my gosh, like I feel like such an elder. Like,
I
oh, you
know.
girls have no idea.
I also felt like such an older person, like eating cottage cheese. Like I was
I
like at the
know.
diner. I'm like, can I have cottage cheese and cantaloupe, please? Like,
Oh.
can I have cottage cheese and pineapple? Like,
Yep.
oh my gosh. I actually don't mind cottage cheese. Well, fast forward. I am plant based now. I actually don't eat cheese at all.
Oh,
But at the time, I actually do like cottage cheese. It was like specifically the one with the fruit. I feel like it just like tasted different. It was like a little bit slimy, like not as
yeah.
curdy. I don't know. I just was like, oh God, I can't even think about those anymore.
I know. I know. I wouldn't like die at the like I will eat cottage cheese, but it's just not it can't be this like
Yeah.
this like staple in my diet because I'm just traumatized from the
Yeah.
past.
The California health salad at the diner,
Oh
which is
my
just like
God.
cottage cheese, fruit, and jello. It's such a specific, I don't know if it's just a Jersey thing,
It
but
might be because that like you just like awoke a sleeper agent. Like that like I just came to online. The
always on like a bed
texture.
of lettuce. Like, why were they putting
Yes.
cottage cheese on lettuce and then you just have this soggy lettuce on the bottom? Are you supposed to eat it? I don't really know. Maybe it just keeps it from like getting everywhere. So
Maybe,
funny.
but I think it definitely, I mean, the texture of that just sends a chill down my spine. I can't. um, damn. Okay. So what led to your decision to be plant-based?
Yeah. So, again, yo-yo dieting, just like up and down. I felt like I would lose weight, I would gain weight. I was getting married and I was like, okay, I want to like feel good for my wedding, but I want to do it in a way where I'm not like crash dieting. Like I gave
Yeah.
myself like a lifestyle change. So I actually started I lost a good chunk of weight by doing Noom. And
Heard of
so
it.
I
Yeah.
was like, okay, Noom is it focuses on like behavioral and like mental health changes, and not specifically like eat this, don't eat that. It's like, why do you make the decisions that you make? And, how can you change lifestyle to be a better fit your life? And how is stress involved? And I really liked the like kind of psychological part of like, why do you stress eat, and can you do other things instead of stress eat? And I think like there's like a health I'm an occupational therapist by day. And so I think there is a part of me that's like, I'm also working with other people to like make changes in their lives. Like I have to kind of understand for me, and like there's a big mental health aspect to occupational therapy as well. And so I'm very much like aware of all of that. And so I started with that, and I was like, okay, I think I reached a point where like I feel like I've got the hang of like what Noom was trying to tell me. I lost a bunch of weight, but then I started slowly seeing that I was kind of gaining it back. And I was like, oh man, like this is like, it's still a diet. Like and no
Yeah.
matter what you do, it's still like, eat this, don't eat that, like make better choices, because like don't stress eat, eat this instead. And I was like, I can't. And so I started kind of just, I think I saw like a while back I had seen the Forks Over Knives documentary,
Oh yeah,
and
that'll do it.
I'm easily persuaded. Like I watched one keto documentary, I'm like, I'm going keto. I went keto for like 2 days, and I was like, this is insane. And so I did not. I was like, well, the reason, so underneath all of this is I have high cholesterol, like genetic, like I've had high cholesterol since I was like 14. Like I've had high cholesterol when I shouldn't have high cholesterol. Like
Yeah.
the way that I found out actually is because I was doing a blood drive at school, at my high school, and like the American Blood Association or whatever it is, like sent me a letter at home that was like, you have very high cholesterol. I was like, first of all, I didn't know you were testing that. Like I just wanted to donate my blood, but they were like, you should get this checked out, teenager. And so I did. I like went to the cardiologist. Like I got like I was like I was like at a pediatric cardiologist for my high cholesterol when I was like in like 14 or 15. And they were like, okay, like it's probably mostly genetic, but you are overweight, so like you have to lose weight. And so I lost weight, and my cholesterol went down dramatically. And I was like, okay, so it is weight and food involved. Like it is what it is.
Yeah.
And so over the years, since like literally high school until probably like a year ago, and I'm 35, if that gives you a sense. I've just been like, I lose weight, my cholesterol go down. I gain weight, my cholesterol goes up. And every doctor is like, we got to put you on cholesterol medicine. And I'm like, no, just give me a chance to lose the weight. My cholesterol go back down. And then it always does. But I
Right.
can't live like that. Like that's,
Yeah.
that's not sustainable. So I was looking into like lifestyle changes and like, how can I really do this? And, I watched, Forks Over Knives, and I just was like, yeah, I'm like 100% sold. And, I just kind of like I drank the Kool-Aid. Like I watched Forks Over Knives, and then I watched some other documentaries. I watched like one about top athletes who went vegan, and I watched one about like twins who one went vegan, one didn't. And I just was like, it might just be like they're showing the science that they want to show you, but I am in. Like
Yeah.
I 100% am in. And I think that like there's a difference between, not to get too specific with it, but like plant-based versus like whole food plant-based versus vegan. Like those are three different things technically.
Really?
And like, yeah. So like vegan is more about like the animals. Vegan is
Yeah.
like, I'm here for the animals. I'm not eating meat and honey and all that because I care about the animals. Plant-based is, not eating, like some people who are plant-based like do eat honey because like it's not about the bees. It's like about
Right.
the calories, more about like the whole foods, and kind of being more plant forward versus like if you're vegan, you can eat Oreos and you can eat like fake
Right.
cheese and processed food and still not be completely unhealthy, but you're not
Yeah.
eating meat and dairy. And so that's what I did at first. Like I started just eating kind of like things that were vegan, and my cholesterol did go down, but like I had like numbers that went like skyrocketed, and it was just because I was eating so much processed food. And so I was like, okay, well, that's close, but not quite it. So then I started going whole food, like plant-based. And so it's more about like whole grains, fruits and vegetables, beans, legumes, like all that good stuff. And I bought like all these cookbooks, followed a million Instagrams, TikToks, and just like I was like, I don't want to be eating salads all the time, and you really don't have to. And I started following accounts about people who like, because everything is so low caloric, you can eat in abundance, but you're not
Right.
taking in the calories. So I was like, oh, I am a mass eater. Like I like to eat. I like to eat a lot. And so you're telling me I can eat a lot and not have as many calorie intakes? I am in. And so yeah, so I've been doing it pretty much like I went on my honeymoon, like binged, ate, drank all the stuff, came home and started it. Like that was it. Like
Yeah, that was like a true diet starts Monday kind of mentality,
yeah,
but it's stuck.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so, it's not 100%. Like I've gone on like on European trips and I'll like eat. I haven't eaten meat in a long time, but I'll eat dairy. Like if it's like I just like I'm in Italy and I want to have the pasta. Like I'm like
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
for the most part, like I'm really stuck with it, and I do not count calories. I do not like I watch what I eat because that's like part of the lifestyle, but I'm not like, and I've been sustaining like the lowest weight I've been at like in years. Like I have not
Right.
yo-yoed in a while. Like I pretty much like a matter of like 3 or 4 pounds depending on my hormones and if I ate like too much vegan cake the day before, but but for the most part, like I have like it's been so good for me specifically, and even to a point. I mean, I like literally am like about to get like certified in like becoming a plant-based coach because I'm like I truly have drunk the like I'm like
Oh, that's
yes,
awesome.
yeah,
That's
let's
so
do it.
cool. So it doesn't feel
Yeah.
restrictive at all.
I mean, it's restrictive in that you can't eat, or I mean, you technically can eat whatever you want, right? Like it's
Right.
not like
You
no
have
one's
free
gonna
will.
like you have free will, but the idea is like you want to really like mostly follow these specific parameters. So it's like like really trying to be creative with like these like really fresh, like really organic, natural ingredients and like how
Yeah.
you can play around with it. So like you can make burgers out of beans and quinoa and blah blah blah, and you can make mashed potatoes, just don't put oil and butter, like use soy milk instead, like all of these
Yeah.
things where it's like so pro potato. It's like people have given potatoes a terrible name. It is like eat
I
your
agree.
potatoes, just don't smother it in oil and butter.
Yeah.
It is like so pro all of these things that just get a bad rap because people just like smother them or fry them and all this stuff. And so I've just been trying to like kind of get, it's like I've been cooking more than I ever had in my life. I own more cookbooks than I've ever had in my life. So I don't know. I really have like it and feel good about it. I try to encourage people in my life to just like think about it, like just like think about ways that like they can change these things. I unfortunately like I don't even the thing about like for me weight is like it's not even about weight. It's about like your heart, and it's about like your diabetes and heart
Yeah.
attacks. Like if you're healthy and you are overweight, like great, 100%. But if you have congestive heart failure and diabetes and neuropathy in your feet and shortness of breath and all of these things, it's like, okay, like, is that not enough? Like,
Right. Right.
where do you need your low? Where do you need your low to be? And like, yes, there's medication for everything, but like everything has side effects, and it's like you take one thing, so then you have to take another thing for the side effects for that thing, and I don't know, not to
I
like get
know.
on my high horse. I just like sorry, I get a little
No,
bit
no,
passionate.
no. I like the medication thing sometimes can feel for me like, okay, well, I have to rob Peter to pay Paul. Like that's how I feel with certain medications I've taken in my life,
Yeah.
of trying to find the balance, respecting the
Yeah.
balance.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that such as many things in life, an all or nothing mentality is the kind of thing that everything in moderation, including moderation. And I think that
Yeah.
you talking about being in Italy and having pasta and that fitting into your lifestyle is a really good sort of piece of wisdom really to impart from a discussion like this. The first thing that comes to mind when I think of like you encouraging people to introduce this kind of thing into their lives in small ways is how so many like I'm sure that you follow like wellness blogs and plant-based in like Instagrammers and TikTokers
Yeah.
and things like that, because like that's how you get recipes and like whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like something that I struggle with is being like, okay, like because I like this creator and I like what they're giving me, like this needs to be my entire life. When it's like, I'm never going to be that
No,
person. Like,
I
I think it's
know.
admirable that you can be, plant based, having not had meat in like, however long, like as
Yeah.
long as you've been plant based. I think that that's so awesome, but I know that I'm not that person because I have like amnesia of the horrible documentaries that I see and
Yeah.
whatever. I think it's really awesome that you found something that really works for you and is having
Yeah,
this
thank
positive
you.
impact on your health, especially because sometimes I've talked to people who are like, I almost wish my poor eating habits affected me more negatively because I feel like it's just going to avalanche one day. Because, like, I'm
Yeah.
not dealing with the high cholesterol now. So it's like I'm probably going to have to deal with it when I'm older and, like, lose a foot or something.
Yeah.
Um, but it's so cool that you want to become, like, a coach in this space.
Yeah, I think like being a healthcare worker already, like I
Yeah.
work with a lot of, so I specialize, so I'm an occupational therapist, but I specialize in something called lymphedema, which is like a swelling disorder.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so a lot of my patients have swelling and issues because they have diabetes, because they're obese, because they have heart failure, because they have vascular issues, whatever it is. And I felt like I wanted to be able to talk to them about food, but I didn't want to like fake talk to them about it. I didn't want to be like, I know everything about it, but like I really don't. Like I know enough to like help me specifically, but and I'm not trying to take the place of a nutritionist or a dietitian. Like I'm not getting trained in those things specifically, but I
Right.
am getting trained to be able to kind of like help people who maybe see a dietitian who says, "Hey, you have to like eat these certain things." And then people are like, "But how do I do that?" And like,
Right. The
so kind of like,
implementation.
yeah, exactly. So like kind of implementing the tools. And I think also like my goal in life is to like not always be so like having to be so hands-on. And as I get older, I'm just like tired of just like
Yeah.
treating things physically, like and being like in people's space so much. And so I was like, okay, what's my next step? And like what do I like? Like I obviously I have a podcast and that's great. And I like if I could just podcast as of my career, like amazing. But like so far we just gotta, add a couple things to the mix. And so I was like, okay, well I'm so I found that I'm very passionate about this specifically. Like I'm like trying to get people to do it and I'm like just doing it myself. And oftentimes when I get passionate about something, it fades out. Like I am passionate about it for like 2 or 3 months and then like you never hear about it again. And this has like seemed to stick. And maybe it like filled, maybe the fire goes out a little bit, but then I like watch a documentary or read a book or I look at someone's Instagram account and I'm like, okay, I'm back. I'm back in it. And
Yeah.
so I was like, okay, well, this seems to be something that hopefully like there will always be a space for. I think that the world is going more plant-based friendly.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that more and more people are learning about the benefits of it. And if I can, I don't think I'm like so early, like this has clearly been going on for years, but if I can kind of get into it, early enough and like where there's enough of a clientele who are looking for someone to guide them, like maybe this is like a good way to transition into something that's not as hands-on. You can do like this, you can have Zoom meetings or you can have in-person clients or not. Like I think also like the fact that I do have like a specialty in OT in occupational therapy and lymphedema, like there's so many ways I can meld them. Like I just feel like it'll only add to what I'm already doing. And so, and because I already do it, like I feel as myself, like I think people want to know that like it works. And like do you do it? Like are you
Right.
just like spewing information but you actually like go and have McDonald's every day or
Right.
whatever? Nothing wrong with McDonald's, I love McDonald's, but but yeah, so I think because I already have shown that it's successful for me. And again, like everybody's body is different. People can go plant-based and have like genetic issues where they do have to go on medication, or they have issues where like maybe they do need to take a GLP-1, like whatever it is. Like I'm
Yeah.
not trying to say like medication is the enemy, like absolutely not. But like ultimately, like any medication that you're on is not you need to be doing other things to like make that medication as successful as it can be. Like it's not a band-aid that's just gonna, it's, so
Yeah.
wow, you've
No,
really brought
no.
out something in me.
Well,
I'm so sorry. I feel like I'm over here like everything is wrong, I'm right. Like I'm just genuinely like excited. I'm excited about just like, I feel like there's an answer, and it's not like it's not like the easiest answer. Like trust me, like I every time there's a party at work, I am so miserable. I'm like, all I want is to eat all of this food. Like I'm not like, it does, the hunger and the excitement of like seeing a donut does not go away. It like
Right.
it's still there. But the underlying like issue of like, I, have made this decision for my health, blah blah blah, like, and if I wanted to have that donut, that would be fine, because like the rest of my day would kind of like balance it out. I think that's the part that like, for me, I know that like once I open the box of Pringles, like it's not going to stop. So like
Right.
I have, unfortunately, I'm just like, I don't have self-control like when it comes to things. So I, kind of have to decide like what I'm willing to overeat. And so
Yeah.
if that's something that's a little bit healthier, then that's where I can like at least get my binge on, so
Totally. I mean, like you said, you are like a volume eater. You like to eat a lot of it. So
yeah,
to have
exactly.
the caloric intake be lower is helpful.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that I saw. Like I started following these two girls. They're not like, they actually joined forces, but I started following them separately. And I think they both found each other, and they're like, "Hey, we do the same thing."
Yeah.
And they pretty much are like, we are volume eaters, like we like to eat a lot, and so here's how we've found that like we can make these healthy foods that we can eat in like ginormous portions. And I was like, yes, I am in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think also what you were saying about like wanting to get certified in this, because you do have, actual, patients at work that could benefit from hearing about your knowledge. You mentioned that there is like a very heavy mental health aspect in the work that you do. And I don't know how to articulate this or explain it, but I just feel like if I was one of your patients, and like, let's say I was dealing with like, lipedema, and you were telling me about giving me these options for a plant-based diet, it just feels so much different than when I was seeing the pediatrician and him telling me that I need to lose weight. Because there was something about that, even if I needed to do it, it like psychologically scarred me to have. Maybe it's because I was an adult, he was an adult, and I was a child or whatever.
Yeah.
But the mental health aspect of being told that I needed to lose weight when I was a child was not taken into consideration.
Well, I think like
yeah.
so much is like, you have to do this because you're fat. Like it's
Yeah.
done, period. Like there's no mention about how it's bad for your heart, how it's bad for your blood flow, how it can lead to heart attacks and peripheral neuropathy and vision loss. Like, I mean, not to like scare people into a lifestyle change, but like if you tell people like why, like this is important, not just like, hey, you're overweight, like lose weight.
Yeah.
And I think, and as a kid, like that's pretty much where it comes down to, is like, you're like, hey, look at your classmates, they're all small, you're fat, lose weight. Like that's just kind of like how it goes. As you get older and like there's more, maybe like, doctors are like, oh, your heart, your blood pressure's up, you have to lose some weight. But all doctors say is lose weight, like eat healthier.
That's
like,
it.
What does that mean? Like even with these GLP-1s, like I honestly am for them. Like I think that they definitely help with food noise. There's so much about food noise that people don't understand about people who overeat, is like you physically, it's like it's an addiction, like it really is. And I'm sure there are people who take GLP-1s who don't have the food noise and they just like want to lose some weight, and that's fine too, like whatever you want to do. But for the people who like really struggle with like, if I don't eat this bagel, like I'm gonna like throw myself off a ledge, like I think it really helps with that. But unless you want to be on a GLP-1 for the rest of your life, you have to teach yourself new habits. Like while the food noise is gone, you have to teach yourself these new habits so that when you bring back, take off the meds or whatever, like you kind of have instilled some of these things in your life. And so I think like, again, it's so much about just like finding a balance and finding a way to just kind of like feel good. I mean, I think like I follow the newsletters. I mean, I see so many like before and afters on the Forks Over Knife like magazines and their website about like people who say about like I had chronic pain and I had chronic skin conditions and I've never, I can walk upstairs, like all these things. And like I started going, plant-based, and like within a few weeks I could feel like a huge difference. And again, I know it's like you only see the reviews of people who actually shared their stories, and like those are only the success stories. But I don't know. I think like I want to try. At least I want to see if it works.
Yeah,
So
totally. I'm actually curious because I feel like, I follow so many like fat activist creators and I what I'm trying to get at is they talk a lot of it about lipedema, and
mhm.
it's so cool that that's like a specialty. I've never met somebody that, in their field of work that's something that they specialize in. So can you tell me a little bit more about that? Like, what is lipedema?
Yeah, so there's two different conditions. There's one called lipedema, LIP, edema, which means swelling. Edema is just a fancy clinical term for swelling. So lipedema, and then there's lymph, LYMPH, lymphedema. And I can do both. I do both. So, but just so like you listeners out there, there are actually two different types of swelling.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so lymphedema, LYMPH, is from your lymphatic system. So that's actually a fluid-based swelling, whereas lipedema, LIP, like lipid or liposuction, LIP is fat. So that's a fatty condition. And so a lot of people who have lipedema have been told that they're fat their whole lives, but it's actually their body, and it only happens in women because, why not? It's a fatty tissue disorder where your body creates excess fat tissue. It's a different type of fat tissue. You can't lose it calorically.
Really?
Yeah. And so your body is just creating. So you often see people who have like legs that are a lot bigger than the rest of their body. You can get it in your arms as well, but you most often see it in women who just like, have a small upper body and then just kind of these like larger legs. It doesn't affect the feet. So it kind of just like, it's like from the hips down to like the
knee,
ankle.
ankle.
Yeah, and then you'll see it if people have it in their whole body. You can see it in their arms as well. Like they'll have kind of like skinny wrists, but like kind of chubbier.
Yeah,
chubby is not a good word, so apologies.
Not
Please
clinical.
take back that word. Not clinical, but they'll have kind of like flabbier arms,
right.
And no matter how much weight they lose, like they just can't get rid of it, and it's because it's not a caloric fat. It's a fatty tissue disorder. And so they get frustrated because they go to the doctor and the doctor tells them to lose weight and they're like, I'm trying, but it's not coming off. And so, the thing that truly the only way to get rid of that fat is surgically.
Wow.
And it really comes down to like, is that more of like like an aesthetic? Like, do you feel like you want to look thinner? But it's heavy, right? Like fat is heavy. It's uncomfortable. You don't know how heavy it is until it's gone. And you're like, oh my, like I've had patients who've had the surgery and they're like, I feel amazing. Like I can walk upstairs better.
Yeah.
I can move, and they don't do the whole body at once, just because it's just too much. So they'll do the legs, and then like the arms still feel heavy. So then they feel like top heavy or bottom heavy, depending what they do. And so a lot of what I do is try to tell people like, it's not your fault. Like, I'm so sorry that you've been blamed for this like your whole life. Here's all the reasons I think you have this. Because lipedema mostly is diagnosed by characteristics. So it's the way that it presents. It's only in women. It stops at the ankles. It often leads to you bruise easily. You have sensitivity to your skin. So like there's kind of these telltale signs. There are some clinicians. I know there's one in Arizona. There are some that are starting to do some types of clinical testing where you can like actually see it, but for the most part, you can pretty much tell by the way it looks and the way it presents. And so, the big thing is that because you're putting excess fat tissue in the body, it also can lead to a buildup of fluid because the body now has to push through more fat
Right.
tissue to get the fluid moving. And so that's where we kind of come in and we say like, hey, maybe you want to like wear some compression, or maybe you want to do some lymphatic massage to kind of help that fluid from also building up. So, in terms of like not adding excess caloric fat tissue, not adding water weight, like, so it's unfortunate that you kind of have to like be extra on top of things because you don't want to be, adding more heaviness to the picture. But
Right.
yeah, it's like, I mean, that one is just really tough. And, because women don't get the care that they deserve. Like the typically, like it's not covered by insurance, the surgery,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure maybe there are some very, very niche insurances that cover it, but and you have to kind of find a special surgeon who understands that it's like lipid fat versus just like someone who just does like regular cosmetic liposuction. So like
Right.
there's just different people who kind of specialize in it. And so if you have any questions, contact me. But yeah, so I initially went into this field because lymphedema, LYMPH, is a common side effect of cancer surgery. And so they take away lymph nodes to heal,
Yes.
to heal, to prevent the cancer from spreading. And so I work with an oncology population, and a lot of those people end up with lymphedema. So I got certified in that, but then we kind of are certified in all types of swelling disorders. And so people would come in with lipedema and told that they, have this kind of, swelling disorder. And so it's, just about the way that you kind of treat both of them. But yeah, so it's interesting. It's nice. I personally like working like with women. I mean, I work with a lot of men, don't get me wrong, but I work very closely with breast cancer population, which is often women. And I work with lipedema a lot, which is also only women. So I kind of, I like working with this population that just, I think that we are always mistreated and misrepresented. And so I like being able to just like provide a little bit of fun and therapy into their lives.
Yeah. I mean, thank you so much for speaking on to that because while yes, like, what you were talking about before, being a teenager, a young teenager with high cholesterol, and it's like, well, when I lost weight, it improved that. It can be so maddening as a plus size person who goes to the doctor for any ailment. It could be like my foot hurts and it's like, well, lose 50 pounds or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And it's like there being an actual condition where it's like, it's so maddening to have that and then be told like lose weight. And it's like, this literally is not something I can lose due to, taking, lowering my calorie intake. So thank you for speaking to that. I am curious, if I'm somebody with lipedema and I go and I get it removed, since it is a disorder, like assuming I don't, gain weight, calorically, could it be something that comes back? Like I don't understand how that works.
Yeah. So I'm not 100% positive on the exacts of if it comes back ever. I think it
Right.
won't come back like as strong, like because typically like you're not like gaining fat tissue forever. Like you're not just like, it's not growing so much that like your legs are now the size of like,
Right.
a couch. Like at
Yeah.
some point, like your body kind of stops and it's like just about managing it. So I think the idea is that you're kind of like catching it early and then just kind of getting away the abnormal cells that like are gonna kind of stop it from happening. Like the recommendation is that you kind of wear compression pretty consistently, kind of for the majority near future. Of course, like if you go to the beach or whatever, like wear whatever you want. Just like when you're done, just kind of maybe put on some compression leggings, like when you're after the fact. But there is probably some maintenance if that is important to you, like down the line, that may have to occur depending on how old you are, like when you kind of proceed with all of these things. But it does definitely improve like quality of life in terms of just like not carrying around extra
Yeah.
weight.
Yeah. I mean, because even societally, that's like, it's so frowned upon, which is why this
But even
podcast
just like
exists.
physically, just like being having to
Yeah.
like carry, like you're
Oh, yeah.
carrying extra weight, like it's just heavy. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's like anything. Like it's you're just like walking up the stairs. You're like it feels like you're carrying like
Yeah.
just like extra sandbags like on your
Right.
legs. You kind of get used to it because your body evens out. But then when it's gone, you're like, oh my god, I was
Yeah.
carrying all of that.
Yeah. It's so
Yeah.
funny. I have so many revelations when I record this podcast and I talk to people about their experiences and things because, my whole life, my mom and my grandma would always tell me that if I wear a skirt, I have to wear tights. I have to wear pantyhose.
Hmm.
And I never understood why. Like I was like I always thought it was kind of like a demure thing, like a
Yeah.
modesty thing to not have your
Yeah.
legs exposed.
Right.
And then I got older and I realized that like, well, my mom has varicose veins and
Mm.
compression apparently, I don't know, can help with, like the your varicose veins not getting so deep embedded and whatever. I have them and they're very apparent on my thighs. My thighs are literally blue. Um, but yeah, it's just so crazy because my grandmother, I think my grandmother probably had some kind of like lipedema because she lost so much weight and could never lose the weight like on her thighs and on her arms, and she was just
Yeah.
always like, oh, these cursed appendages on my body. Like,
Yeah.
and like it always was like a value judgment on herself that she couldn't
Hmm.
lose it. And if it's like, well, I mean, it's just maybe it was completely outside of your control.
Yeah, I
If
know. And
this
it's
was
hard
something,
because for some people that's so relieving. Like they're like,
yeah,
"Oh, thank God." Like I've been
yeah,
trying and it's not in my control. And for other people it's maddening.
yeah,
They're like, "It's not in my control. What how can I
mm,
this is so unfair, you know?" So it really depends on
yeah,
people's mindsets. But for most people, like they just want relief. Like, some of
mm-hmm,
the like whether it's just telling them to like wear compression or helping them understand like the benefits of lymphatic massage. We recommend things called compression pumps. Like there's so many things out there now,
yeah,
compression capris that just like help kind of like hold everything in so it's not like so heavy like coming to, that in that way. And like even just like a little bit of relief, they're like, oh, thank you. And and it's not like the end all answer. Like still, the discomfort is there the minute you kind of stop or whatever. But just like having some type of answers can be very helpful.
yeah, no, completely. And I'm so glad you were able to come on and impart this knowledge. And I'm so excited for you to get, certified
Oh,
in,
yay.
plant-based diets. But, it's funny because, well, of course, I know that like plant-based diets are a thing. I always attribute the term plant-based to the word medicine, like herbal medicine, plant-based medicine. Maybe
Ah.
that's just my algorithm. And people that like are afraid of vaccines.
Yeah.
No shade, no
Yeah.
shade, no shade. Um, but yeah. Anyways, we that could be a whole nother tangent. We have to wrap up anyways.
Ugh, so annoying.
So
We're having so much fun.
I know, so much fun, but this is so awesome. I want to thank you again for coming on. I would love for you to let the people know where to find you.
Oh my gosh. Follow me on the Insta, Carly J Montag. Follow our podcast. You can find our episode with Kelly there as well. Follow the podcast Alone at Lunch on Instagram, and look out for by next June or July, hopefully July 2026, depending on when you're listening to this. By July 2026, I will hopefully be certified and will, I'm sure, blasting the socials with
Yes.
all that. So look out for that. And just have fun and follow your passions. That's
Oh,
that's
I love.
follow your journeys. And thank you for having me,
Oh,
Kelly. This was so fun.
I'm so glad. Yes, yes. Thank you for coming on. And everybody everywhere that you can find Carly will be in the description of the show notes. And until next week, we'll talk to you. Bye.
Bye.